Hello and welcome back to Arrow April number 3. Now, before we jump into the deep end here, be warned, I hated Season 4. Considering that's the base of this episode, if you don't share that opinion, you might want to click off now. So, let's begin. Season 4 left a big impact on Arrow, but not a good one. It's changed so many things about the show, so the big question that was left with fans after that season was, will Season 5 be what the Doctor ordered? I hope to discuss that this time and explain why I think what I do. So with all that out of the way, the biggest problem with Season 4 was the characters. First, let's talk about Felicity. Felicity was always one of my favorite characters, but in this season they completely changed her. Originally a nice person, always trying to help the team, turned into a two-dimensional jerk. The biggest thing was when Oliver was trying to protect his son by keeping him a secret, and that's why she dumped him? Really, that just doesn't logic very well at all. Please, try logic next time, please. Now there's just this weird tension between her and Oliver, which is just awkward all the time. Another thing would be Diggle and Oliver. I mean, I know that Season 3 was the reason they started hating each other, but 4 is the one to blame for handling it so terribly. They resolved it, sure, but that entire season kept pushing their broken friendship, and it was just way too much. This is just one case of something that could have been interesting and suspenseful, but they just couldn't do it. No, they had to make it as boring as possible. Finally, for characters, let's talk about Arrow's worst move. Why in the world? Just why would you end the old team? Okay, it was the Season 5 finale. 5 minutes left, and you're thinking, phew, I'm glad that's over. They can't mess anything up now. But you're wrong. Because what's that? Yeah, they decided to just take those years of investment and character development and throw them out the window. Good job, guys. Nice call. I mean, I can just imagine the conversation. Jimmy, we're almost out of episodes. How are we going to keep making great decisions? I know, boss. We just take those characters and get rid of them, even though it makes no freaking sense. They'll love it. Promise. Well, now let's see if Season 5 can take care of this situation. Felicity and Oliver are still being weird, but the horizon looks good. Dig and Oliver are back to normal, even though Dig's not in the show nearly enough. That's because they have more characters now, though. Speaking of that, Felicity and Dig are back, but Thea isn't, Laurel's still dead, and it doesn't seem like they have any intention to bring her back. In her place, they've added a few characters that are pretty good, but not stellar. So what else did it do to Arrow, aside from the characters? Well, aside from little things, it's changed some key story elements, like Laurel's death. Now, I don't really have a problem with this per se, but it was definitely huge. Arrow kills off someone every season. First there was Tommy, then Moira, and in Season 3, Sarah. But with the exception of Tommy, none of these characters mattered as much as Laurel. At the time of watching this season, at first, I didn't really like Laurel, but that kind of ruined the initial impact of the death for me. Afterwards, I kind of started to like Laurel, so I'm kind of sad to see her character go. Adding magic was certainly a terrible move. It just didn't fit at all. Not for Arrow, at least. Had this been Flash or Legends of Tomorrow, it would be a different story. But this is Arrow, and adding magic is as bad as adding metahumans to the show. It's bad enough adding magic as the villain of the show, but giving Oliver magic, or whatever that was just insane. They seem to just be pretending magic doesn't exist, which is certainly the best move. So, Season 5, that's another thing it's got going for it. In all fairness, the backstory wasn't as awful as it could have been. The story was okay. It was bland, but it was okay. The problem came from the people in it. I just didn't appreciate the characters. They seemed to want to make tons of characters, but they only developed one, and that character wasn't even Oliver. Because he's the only character that's gonna stay, so if you're gonna underdevelop, at least underdevelop him. Now Season 5. Laurel is still dead. They teased us with hints that she would come back, and then she did. But it wasn't actually Laurel. No, it was Black Siren, the Earth 2 version of Laurel. But, like I said, they're ignoring magic, which is a good move, for the time being at least, and I'm pretty sure they'll never mention it again. The backstory has been a lot better for this season, and makes up for the last one for sure. Personally, it might be my favorite backstory. For the final question, is Season 5 what Arrow needed to get me and more people interested in it again? Well, to make a long story short, yes it is. It hasn't been Season 3 good, but it's been intense, interesting, and overall acts like a cleanup crew. They spent the season kind of repairing the damage, and now that they've done that, I'm excited to see what they do next time. But I hope you guys didn't mind the shorter video. I know it's been shorter than the other Arrow Aprils, at least I think it was, but I hope you guys don't mind that. Anyways, in the top left corner is the first Arrow April, in the top right corner is the second one, in the middle is my logo. You can click that to subscribe, but I will see you in the next Arrow April, and possibly the last one. I'm not too sure about that, but I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.